Everybody knows this one. This is the X1 Carbon. This is the Gen 13 Aura Edition that I reviewed about a month ago, and it's probably the best, if not certainly the best commercial laptop of 2024, and if not the best laptop in general in the 14-inch category for last year. Now, what are we talking about here for 2025? Well, I went to see Lenovo's offerings. As you know, if you didn't see that video, I'll leave a link in the description below. Many new offerings here for the new year, and particularly in the ThinkPad line, we have a brand new, I should say, unit, and it's called the ThinkPad X9. It comes in a 14 and a 15.3-inch flavor, and I got to tell you, it's radically different from anything we've seen from the ThinkPad line in the past. It's a little different, obviously, because it doesn't have the track point, which is an inherent part of the ThinkPad DNA. And of course, here it is. You can see it on this X1 Carbon. And, you know, it's certainly identifiable. Once you see it, you know what this is. It's a ThinkPad. And of course, it has the ThinkPad logo with the X1. Everybody knows this, right? So when we look at the X9, it's very different. It's radically different in a lot of ways. It's thin, it's light, it's got a gorgeous OLED displays, and it doesn't have the track point. So some people complained about the track point. Some people are diehard track point users. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at this, because they got a third of the commercial market for business laptops, and they want the other 2/3, right? So they're trying to appeal to a wider audience. I understand what they're trying to do here. So when you're looking at something like this, you identify with this track point. You don't have that with the brand new one. It is something different. There's a haptic touchpad on it. Now, I know Sensal does the one on the 14-inch. I got a chance to meet with Sensal yesterday here in Las Vegas for CES. I got a chance to play with it. It's amazing. They did some great things there. They've even enhanced their game in terms of the force pad that they're offering on this. Now, as far as the 15-inch, from what I understand, I don't believe it's they're not using Sensal, right? So they're using some other companies, but it's still good. I used it a little bit at the showcase here in Las Vegas, and it was perfectly fine. Had no issue with it. But I do like the Sensal haptic touchpads. I'm a little bit partial to that, I will admit. And I am going to probably want to go for something like the 14-inch personally, because I like to travel and I like to be as light as possible. Now, this, of course, we know is less than a kilogram. That is also going to come in thin and light. Now, they had that bar on the bottom, which protrudes out a little bit. That has all the guts, basically. They call it I think it's the engine or something like that. But anyway, the fans are there, and all the Lunar Lake stuff is there, and you get some pretty decent I/O, although I've seen better on other laptops in the category. But where you're getting is a really sleek and thin laptop. It's an all-metal chassis, and I got to tell you, it's something very different than we saw from this X1 Carbon line and some of the others, of course. Now, besides the haptic touchpad and all that, you get an OLED display. You get 2.8K resolution. You get an option for a touch or a non-touch. It's a true black 600 display, or HDR 600. It's got 500 nits of peak brightness, according to them, and you're going to get a really great experience as far as the display is concerned. Now, the keyboard is a little bit different than what we see here. This is the iconic keyboard that we know and love from the ThinkPad X1 Carbon line. I love this keyboard. Now, that one is a little bit different. I got a chance to play with it a little bit, and of course, I got to use it a little bit more to come to a conclusion, a final conclusion. But using it, my initial impressions, I really like it. I didn't know if I was going to like it at first, but having used it a little bit, it really was pretty good. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring up is, and I didn't bring it up in the video because I didn't realize it until I met with Sensal, there is a very, very compact charger here, a 65-watt USB Type-C charger that is the size of a smartphone charger. It's pretty amazing. And you just throw that in your bag and you have 65 watts and not have to be weighed down by a honking brick in your bag. So love what they're doing here. I can't wait to get one into the studio. Now, as far as pricing is concerned, you can spec it out over on their website. They're shipping late January, early February, and the 14-inch starts at $1,339. The pre-order for the X9 15-inch is $1,459, and you go up from there. If we look at some of the spec options on the 14-inch, again, you can go with the touch or the non-touch, but of course, you can go with V Pro or non-V Pro. You can go with the Core Ultra 5. So if you go with the Core Ultra 7 268V with V Pro, there is one option there. You can go up to 2 terabytes of storage, but I'm pretty sure you can upgrade that yourself. And then, of course, you have the OLED display. There is a Full HD Plus display, OLED, and then there's a touch one that we looked at. That's $100 more. That's the one I got a chance to look at with a variable refresh rate up to 120 hertz. Now, that non-touch is 60 hertz for those wondering. And then, of course, that's it. And of course, you can also get that with the Sensal haptic touchpad, although I don't see it as an option here. I'm not sure if it's standard. I'll have to look into that. So if I get more information on that, I'll let you know. But as far as that is concerned, you're looking at $2289. Now, and then if we want to spec out the X9 15-inch, we can build our own here. This one starts at $1459, goes here. Now, this is a pretty big jump from the Core Ultra 5 226V to the Ultra 7 268V. That's with the V Pro. That includes also 32 gigabytes of RAM. So if you want to go with that, it's a big jump. But you can go with the 258V, save a little bit more money on that one. And then if you go, comes with 32 gigabytes, it is Lunar Lake. It's the 8533 mega transfers per second. It is integrated in the system on a chip. You can go up to 2 terabytes of storage. Again, it can start to get a little pricey here. And then the 15-inch comes in a non-touch 2.8K, 120 hertz, or you can get it with a touch. We looked at the one with the touch. It's $50 more. And here's interesting. You could get the click pad, which is a standard trackpad, and then you can go with the force pad. That is the non-Sensal for those wondering. So that is the unit on the 15-inch, and that comes in at $2339 as we spec'd it out here. So what's my takeaway here? My takeaway is this is a very interesting device. The X9 is very interesting in the fact that it's something radically different we haven't seen from the ThinkPad line before. Before we rush to judgment and say, well, they shouldn't have put the ThinkPad name on it. It's not a real ThinkPad without the Trackpoint. I don't know. I like what they're doing here. If you want the Trackpoint, there are plenty of options, especially this one right here, the X1 Carbon Gen 13 Aura Edition. And you can go with the P series, you can go with the T series. There's so many options when it comes to the ThinkPads. And if you don't like the keyboard, you can always go with something like this, right? We tried and true. We know this keyboard very well. So I look forward to getting them into the studio to review. I may even order one so we can get it even sooner. So stay tuned, more to come. We'll look at the 14-inch. We'll look at hopefully the 15.3-inch as well. And we'll come to our conclusion once we can run the numbers, the benchmarks, everything. I'm expecting excellent battery life. Keep in mind, it is an OLED display, so it will use a little bit more battery, of course. So just keep that in mind. But I'm looking forward to testing it out and seeing how the I/O and this and everything all comes together. So let me know what you think. Do you think they should have put the ThinkPad name on this, or should they have called it something else? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Are you going to miss the Trackpoint? Do you care? Or are you upset that they took it away? I want to hear your opinion. Let me know in that comment section below. Now, I have more to come from CES here in Las Vegas for 2025, so stay tuned. I'll see you in the next video.